What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week of Hero or Zero here on the Heroes for Hire podcast. My name is Shaun Meehan, and joining me as always is my hero, Conor Lawler.
You've never once called me your hero in real life, and now I feel like you've kind of jumped me on the microphone live.
Well, never meet your heroes, folks, because this is unpleasant, let me tell you.
Episode 700. For the first 699 he was sound, but now I've really turned on him.
Now just the fan has become the hero. No, I don't know what's happening.
Don't know how that's going to work. Shaun, this is Hero Zero. This is the show where we choose one comic book character, as we do every single week. We talk their good points and their bad points, and we generally just give you a bit of a rundown of everything to do with that character. Now, I normally choose DC characters, and Shaun, you normally choose Marvel characters. So, last week, I did Rey, or the Rey, I should say.
Rey Skywalker.
And so, you are now up this week with your probably middle of the road report on a terrible Marvel character. Ha 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 ha. Oh my God, I got him.
So here's the thing. First of all, leave a like and a favourite.
We should probably let everyone know, by the way. We're doing a listener Patreon hangout next Saturday.
Next Saturday, the 20th of July.
So not tomorrow. Not tomorrow.
Don't worry about tomorrow. That's all you.
Chill out. Go hang out with your loved ones tomorrow, because next week you're not seeing them, right? Because you're coming to hang out with us.
and we're going to put you to work, let me tell you.
we have a farm. We're going to bring you all in. But yeah, so we are having a Patreon hangout next Saturday, and that is the 20th. It starts at 1:30 Irish time, and basically all it is, it's just for the patrons, and basically anyone who wants an invite specifically. If you do, you just have to message us on all the social medias, but the patrons automatically get an invite through the email. It's by Google Meet, and all you got to do is jump on the call, and we just have a bit of a chat for 2 hours, just about anything and everything. You can ask us any questions you want. You can put your camera off, on, whatever way you want to do it, and we can sometimes play a few fun games as well.
And we shoot the shit. We have a bit of a chit chat, and it's a lovely time all round.
Yeah. And everyone's always really nice, which I'm still waiting for one where someone's a dickhead, but I feel like I'm saying that out loud, I might jinx it.
No one's come in loudly spouting any views so far, and that's something I'm really excited for.
Other than you.
Well, look, those are opinions.
We were all kind of taken aback by the minorities talk that you did last time. It was very, very
pro every minority, except for the hateful ones.
So that is happening next Saturday. If you do want an invite, all you got to do is, you can just become a patron today. That's the easiest way. You also get access to a bunch of extra content.
It's all tiers of the Patreon as well, by the way. Like the $2 one, you'll get a shout out and the
$2,
invite.
Yeah, everyone gets an invite to it if you're a patron, or just message us on the social medias, and you just get an invite that way as well. Just send on your email and you'll be added into the invite list. But Shaun,
that's enough of that, Conor.
We don't need any 5 stars, because everyone's already knows. Leave a 5-star if you can. You're all legends. I see it going up, and everyone's very, very kind. But Shaun, enough of that. It's time for... can I bring back the middling thing again, or have I already used that?
You can use the middling thing again if you want.
It's going to be a middling report from a middling man.
Whoa! Yeah, no, he's not wrong. I'll take middle. I will take middle, folks.
That's pretty good. A 6 is good.
Here's the thing, right? If I did this report 6 months ago, you wouldn't have a fucking clue what I'm talking about or what's going on.
Okay.
But then X-Men 97 came out, because we're talking about Forge, Conor.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So, Forge, real cool. Real good story in comics. Has been around in comics for ages. But I would say in the public eye, largely unknown, until X-Men 97 gave him a whole fucking arc. And that arc is basically the origin that he has in the comics.
Right, okay. And I know some people might not have watched X-Men 97, unfortunately. I'm sorry to hear that. I would recommend going to watch it. It's quite good. And by quite good, I mean it's probably the best thing they've done in about 5 to 6 years. So just maybe go have a look at it, just because it's really good.
It's really, really good. And so, this will technically spoil some of X-Men 97, but that it is based off of the comics. So that's just what we're working with here. So it's created by Chris Claremont and John Romita Jr. in Uncanny X-Men number 184 from May 1984 is when he first debuted. He was a Cheyenne Native American, a pupil of Naze, who was a shaman in his tribe. He developed considerable mystical powers as a result of his training, but he was also a mutant with an unusual talent for inventing mechanical devices. The way he explains it is that it's an intuitive genius, so it's as natural as breathing to him. So he just understands how to make things. He doesn't... He's never studied it. His brain can just put things together.
Right, so he is literally the mutant equivalent of like the numbers floating around your head and just like, putting it together.
Pretty much, yeah. Like he couldn't, like he's looked into things. Like he has researched how things work, so he can explain it to people. But without that, he would be able to make a machine, but he couldn't explain how to make it.
So it's not like, say, Taskmaster, who has to learn everything about the thing before he can do it. It would be the opposite. He already knows how to do it, but he can read up on it to understand why he knows how to do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So he served in the Cyan Kong War. So this is Marvel's version of the... It's kind of like Vietnam/Korean Wars mixed together.
Right.
And he lost his right hand and right leg in a B-52 attack. During the war, Forge used the souls of 9 dead comrades and opened a portal that released a being called the Adversary to win a battle. Off the rails early.
But this is the earliest we've ever got off the rails.
Second paragraph off the rails.
Second paragraph, he's already raised a demon. I mean, that is fantastic. Normally what happens if this is your first report of Shaun's, we get to at least maybe the 10 to 15 minute mark before he very quietly utters, and then he raised a demon to kill everyone. And then he kind of moves on. But like, we've come in early, and you have a mutant who knows how to do technology, and they were like, it's not fancy enough. It doesn't have the razzmatazz. He needs the souls of his enemies in a sword. Wait, no, that's katana. The souls of his enemies to raise a demon.
To open a portal to release a demon called the Adversary. And Adversary, the Cheyenne people's embodiment of chaos, is what that is. Okay. After this, he sank into a suicidal depression and tried to kill himself.
Going very early with everything here.
It's true. Connor doesn't know there's a second rug pull coming later.
Great.
Forge designed an artificial hand and leg to replace those that he had lost. And this is from the actual Marvel Wiki. For reasons connected with the war that have not yet been made clear, he decided to give up the use of his ability to wield magic. So he's...
Right.
Just doesn't do magic anymore. He's all technology.
I suppose the obvious follow-up question is, did they just like... They didn't like the idea that the robot or machine guy could also do magic, and so they wrote around it by saying he just forgot and doesn't want to do it, so shut up?
I think so. I think it was also the time that, like... they were like, hey, you can't have... every Native American character also be a shaman. Like, I think that was just kind of starting to come into popularity, that opinion.
But you know what? Kind of, I mean, they're out of line, but they're right. Cause you're like, well, to be fair, they can't all be shaman. I mean, it's just the rules.
Yeah, it's fucking weird if they're all matching.
It's also super racist to do the opposite, so maybe stop making them a shaman.
You're really reducing a whole people down to one
it's like
aspect.
Every Irish character, I don't know, said fiddly-dee and had like Irish magic of like leprechaun powers.
Have you seen the first introduction of Banshee in the comics?
I think you've described it to me before, but please do it again.
The panel is Professor X gets into a car with Banshee, and Banshee goes, "Begorra, Professor X, 'tis yourself." It's the worst thing in the world.
And then they realised not every Irish character has to have those specific traits, and we grew as a people.
Exactly. Now another Black Tom Cassidy, another Irish character, Banshee's cousin actually, did once jump off a cliff and yell "Mayo for Sam" in the comics. which we're not getting into here. There's an ancient curse.
Imagine trying to do a 0-0 on Mayo losing the All-Ireland final.
Consistently, for decades.
If you don't know what we're talking about, just look up Mayo for Sam and then history. And then you'll have a reading of the most unlucky sports team in the world.
Who are cursed by a local priest, apparently. Anyway,
it's very strange.
Doesn't matter.
Last time they won 1953 or so, it was bad.
Yeah. So Forge concentrated instead on his career as an inventor, and when Tony Stark stopped making weaponry for the federal government, the Defence Department began commissioning new weaponry from Forge. Forge created a scanner device that could detect the presence of superhumanly powerful mutants and extraterrestrials in the wielder's vicinity, and importantly could differentiate between dire wraiths and other aliens. Dire wraiths, just the most general. They're other types of aliens, but they're real important for one story, and they're real worried about them.
We have different types of aliens in this story.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. You have regular aliens and then the dire wraiths.
So we've like the boring, regular aliens, like, I'm yawning.
Gross.
Like,
hate
gross.
Those.
Don't like them. And then the diorite aliens.
Dire wraiths.
Dire wraith aliens, who are they the fancier ones?
They're, They're ancient Skrulls that were when they first made Skrulls. The Skrulls invented black magic and then they became all fucked up and weird. So they're magic aliens.
What is this? This guy is so easy to write. Just have him writing for like machines. Why is he always getting involved with aliens?
Because they keep trying to pull him back into magic.
just have the guy who's an expert on making anything make weapons for the government and then be like, I'm against that.
I can't stress how much I tried to edit the dire wraith alien stuff out of this report.
Because you knew I was going to take the piss out of you.
Yeah, but it's so intrinsic to him as a character. Yeah.
They just have like a Venn diagram and they just have Forge and aliens on a whiteboard. They're like, he has to be involved with aliens. I don't understand why he just
aliens,
does.
Magic, science.
At the end of it, sometimes he's good with machines.
So, he also created a neutralizer device that could theoretically deprive any superhumanly powerful being of the ability to use his or her supernatural powers.
So he created Sentinels. Kind of, but for magic?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, more akin to like the collars that no, not even magic. It'll stop mutant powers.
It'll stop everything.
Yeah.
Right.
It'll just make you a regular human. On presidential orders, Henry Gyrick, an agent of the National Security Council, took possession of the only existing model of the neutralizer in order to use it against Rogue, a member of the X-Men who was falsely suspected of killing an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Forge was outraged by this, as the neutralizer was still untested, and he didn't know if it would remove the powers temporarily, permanently, or possibly just kill the person that was shot with it. Forge physically attempted to prevent Gyrick from using the device on Rogue, but instead, Rogue's fellow X-Man Storm was shot with the device. With her superhuman powers entirely removed, Storm fell into a river, from which Forge rescued her.
Which, if we don't understand here, in terms of Storm, is that she's basically a god, so, like, possibly top 3 most powerful X-Men.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the idea of her losing her powers is also pretty intrinsic to the character and is quite character building.
It is. It's very well done in the animated series, I would say. Also, wild that Forge was able to shut down Storm's powers. Like,
that's what I mean. If he's able to take out gods.
Yeah. Like, he can take out anyone, presumably, with that. Storm left Forge's house, but on return, learning that Forge was in danger from the dire wraiths, she went back. The wraiths were aware that Forge's neutralizer could not, in its present state, harm them and intended to kill him before he could improve it. So they're like, no, it's not going to work on us. So we'll just shut him down.
Oh my God, let me get this straight. I just want to really think, like, the logic of this story is that this guy, Forge, creates a necklace thing, or what's another word for that? It's not a necklace, it's
a collar.
A collar, great use of the word, yes. He creates a collar that gets rid of mutant powers. They use it on Storm, and it makes her lose all of her powers.
Yes.
Then the next plot point isn't the fact that the mutants come after him and try to kill him because he's created this colour. The next point is you have a completely different people, aliens, come from the side who aren't even involved. The colour doesn't even work on them yet. And they're like, we're going to fuck him up before he gets to us. Instead of the mutants on the other side are like, we should fuck him up because he can get to us.
The mutants are like, hey, he made a mistake. And Storm's like, I've got no powers. This is awful.
And the aliens are just like punching their other hand. Like, let's fuck him up.
So Forge so Storm leaves. She's like, I'm done with you. I fucking hate you. You're the worst. Forge longed for Storm, going so far as to create holograms of her in his home.
Bit iffy now. Bit iffy.
He further improved his neutralizer so that it would negate the Dire Wraith's mystical abilities. See how often these fuckers come up?
All the time.
He created several of these improved neutralizers, but he was still guilt-ridden over Storm's loss of her powers. Fearing that people would use his neutralizers against other superhuman Earth beings, because they fucking would, Forge did not want to give them devices for use even against the Dire Wraiths. After joining forces with the Wraiths, I need you to not ask a follow-up question on who this person is. After joining forces...
What do you owe me, though? If I don't ask a question here, do I get at least 4 more insults on our next episode?
3.
Okay, deal. Go on.
Okay, nice. Joining forces with the Wraith's greatest foe, Rom the Space Knight. The 2 battled Wraiths in Dallas, Texas.
So I get no questions.
No questions.
Sorry, can I just... Ron, is it Ron?
Rom, R-O-M.
Rom the Space Knight.
Yeah. You can Google a picture of Rom if you want. Perfectly
normal name, perfectly normal character. I don't have to ask any more follow-up questions. I understand his history, the teams that are involved in his stories, and I'm assuming he's a great character. That's all I have to say on that.
Popped up a bunch in the 80s, I think, through a series of legal disputes and selling filing cabinets. They no longer own him. Forge decided to construct a gigantic neo-neutralizer in Earth's orbit. So that he could cast all of the Dire Wraiths on Earth into other dimensional limbo.
You know what? To be fair to the Dire Wraiths, they were proactive earlier on because they knew this fucker is going to create a nuclear bomb that's going to send us to a different dimension.
They know he's capable of it.
Yeah.
And so let's fucking nip that in the bud.
And so actually, I'm going to take back my previous comments because I respect the fact that they were like, let's break his legs now before he can do anything.
Yeah. Well, he's got one... I mean, the man has lost a leg already.
Break his other leg and also maybe fuck him up a bit more.
So, Gyrick wanted to use this new neo-neutralizer to eliminate the superhuman powers of every being on Earth. To thwart Gyrick's plan, Forge and Rom aimed the neo-neutralizer not at Earth, but at the Wraith's homeworld, Wraith World, which was coming through hyperspace.
Am I allowed to ask follow-up questions to the Wraith World?
You can. Go ahead.
What the fuck is going on?
Big planet going through hyperspace. It can move.
Big planet. It just pops out of nowhere.
Just pops out.
Just always been there.
And they have a big laser Death Star pointed at it.
But why do they need to be here if they've got a big planet nearby?
Oh, because sorry. The Dire Wraith's magic is contingent on location to the planet. So it's stronger the closer they are to the planet, so they bring the planet with them.
But then just live on your own fucking planet.
Nah, they gotta kill Forge. They're against this one dude.
But they only have to kill Forge because they're on Earth and he might come up with a thing that hurts them. But if they just fucked off back to their planet, Forge doesn't live there and they could be like gods because they would be as close to their planet as they can get.
But they want to be there.
They want to fuck up Forge.
They need to kill Forge.
One of them just has a real big vendetta against this one guy, and all the rest of them are like, man, we could just go home. Like, what are we doing here? They're just going to drop a bomb on us.
They fired the device at Wraithworld. The device negated Wraithworld's magic, which meant that the dire wraiths no longer had their own mystical powers, causing Wraithworld to cease to exist and sending them all into limbo. And then he destroyed all known specimens of the neutralizer so that it could not be used against Earth's superhumans.
And actually, I do have a slight question. What does Rom think about all this?
Rom goes back to his own planet. He goes back to Galador.
He's like Poochie. I must go now.
There's got to be okay. Rom was made entirely to accompany action figures. The character is currently owned by Hasbro.
Oh, fantastic! That's amazing.
So he was really important in a bunch of stories, and now they can never use him.
So that he shows up in this one story where they genocide a planet of aliens, and then he leaves.
Yes.
Fantastic. That'll sell some toys.
It's true. He has a wife. It doesn't matter.
Oh, fuck. Better buy his fucking toys. So.
Oh, no. Apparently Rom is dead. Apparently Galador was destroyed. Fucking hell.
Forge missed the first time.
That was a warning.
and him and Rom are standing beside each other, and he like blows up Rom's planet. He's like, "Oh man, I am so sorry. I haven't really got to grips with the aiming on this one. Sorry about that.
It's tough, you know. I'm not magic. Come on.
Yeah, like I wish I was.
Okay, 2 weeks from now, Rom the Space Knight. It's going to happen.
We're not doing Rom the Space Knight, please.
Forge was next seen atop a mountain, seemingly opening a dimensional portal filled with demons. Storm, who had been manipulated by the adversary that he released in the Not Vietnam War,
oh my God,
stabbed Forge in the chest, and only then realised he had been attempting to close the portal, not open it. Connor.
Why is this guy who can make machines and weapons not involved in a Tony Stark style story where he makes the weapon wrong for the wrong people and then has to kind of just fight the government or something about it?
See, it's that, but it's peppered with aliens and magic.
No.
Isn't that great?
I don't think it's peppered with... I think it's mostly aliens.
It's what I really appreciate about X-Men 97. He's just a guy that makes weapons.
Which makes more sense.
Yep. The adversary then trapped Forge and Storm in the other dimension and seized control of Dallas, Texas. That's just where Forge lives.
Just Dallas.
Just Dallas.
No, my plan worked. I own Dallas.
He warps time and space in order to foment chaos on Earth. Forge and Storm.
So sorry, this is a demon that can change time and space.
Yeah.
And his ultimate goal was to take over Dallas.
Yeah, at the start. Eventually he'll make it to Austin.
And then all of Texas is his.
Yeah, and then the rest of Texas will follow. Then you've got your own grid, and you can just basically...
Then you're one of 52. Then you're one of the states, and then you're laughing.
Then you get voting privilege, you know, you're in the electoral college and stuff.
The electoral college is yours.
So Forge and Storm spent a year on an alternate Earth, during which time they made peace and admitted their love for one another.
What a weird way to get to that point, but fair play.
After a fight, Storm left, and upon returning, Forge...
What do you mean she left?
They had a fight and she walked away, but then she came back, and then... Oh, no, you're going to love this, because they realised
they're... the dimension, or left...
No, she left the house.
That's what you meant. No, she left the dimension.
You know,
and I was like,
Connor,
if she could leave, what's she doing there?
No, do you know what? This is the best joke I or anyone will ever make.
Go on.
She stormed off.
Lads. Oh, boys, everyone, please turn off 5 stars. Please.
5 stars, please, but then turn it off. So, after she got back to the house, Forge used components from his cybernetic leg to make a new device that restored Storm's ability to use her powers.
Oh my God, he was sitting on that for the whole fucking year.
Yeah. wrote themselves into such a corner.
He could have... Also, why are they living in a house in a different dimension?
It's an alternate Earth. It's not great, but they're doing their best.
You can literally build anything. Anything. You're MacGyver.
He needs magic or materials or something.
How pissed would she be when he gets like, oh, I made you something to actually give your powers back, and it's been like 13 months, and you've been in this dimension.
Well, you had I think the thing with Forge is he can make anything, he just doesn't most of the time.
I think he's very story breaking because he can literally solve any problem.
He can just Forge invent something.
Invent something to fix the problem. Whatever the problem is, invent it, and then we win.
Yeah, exactly. With her powers back, she was able to energise a portal to get back to their own world. Forge and Storm rejoined the X-Men and were captured in the Omniversal Guardian Roma's Starlight Citadel, which had been taken over by the adversary.
What the fuck is going on?
Roma protect... Okay, you know how I've said 5 different characters across the years that they're the embodiment of chaos in the Marvel Universe and another person is the embodiment of good?
Vaguely, I do remember that, yes.
Yeah, like the Sentry and the Void and stuff like that.
Okay, cool.
Well, this is the same thing again, in that the adversary is chaos and Roma is order.
Okay, so the story is so far is that I get sent to a different dimension by the evil Vietnam demon.
Yes.
And then
he's an ancient demon, but he came out in Vietnam.
He pops out in Vietnam, and then they live in that dimension, just in a nice house, like a lovely white fence, just like lovely garden, just had the place set up.
It's not that nice, but the sentiment is there.
Storm's out one night and she goes to the pub, and then she arrives back and he's like, I have this thing that's just going to give you your powers back. It's been 13 months.
I didn't want to give up my leg, but
Yeah, I had like a nice thing going here. I was actually going for a promotion at work and it's been going really well, so I didn't really want to ruin it, but we do have powers now. And so then they get back out of the dimension, and the first thing the writers do is they immediately get thrown into a different dimension.
No, they're in the same new dimension now. But they're gone to the Starlight Citadel, which is where the Omniversal Guardian Roma survives. Yeah.
Okay.
You've got this.
Did the writers hate Storm?
I don't know. It was the 80s, and it was like X-Men were big. So I don't know why.
There's only 2 characters that I think would be less set up for maybe a world-hopping, dimension-hopping thing. It would be the person that controls weather on Earth and the guy who creates machines on Earth.
But he's also magic.
No, he's not. They took that away from him.
I know, he's sometimes magic now.
Sometimes if they need it. Yeah, no, fair enough.
So Forge was forced to use his mystical abilities once again to banish the adversary. Now, you'll remember in the Vietnam War, he used the souls of 9 of his comrades to create the portal. So he uses the souls of 8 X-Men and Madeline Pryor to open a portal to send the adversary back to his own dimension.
Wait, so they're all dead?
They are. However,
until he creates a machine that he has to take 9 more souls.
No, I'm afraid there's no more souls to be took, because Roma restored the X-Men to life and freed the adversary under the notion that there could be no order without chaos, Connor.
Fuck off. What is going on? He's after sacrificing 9 people. This fucking planet is
and he didn't know that they were coming back either.
And he's like, hang on now, hang on. Everyone's okay, but you gotta shake hands and fucking just agree to disagree at this point. I will all
You're
move
different people. Ways. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, that's horrifying. He's taken 9 lives without even thinking of the consequences, and he just got off the hook.
Yeah. And then, there was no pushback. Everyone's kind of fine with it.
Everyone's just chill. Like, they're like, oh yeah, cool. Just, I was dead for 10 minutes.
Yeah. And then, my soul was. They took their souls.
But that I suppose that means they're dead.
Powers and abilities. He has intuitive genius. He can visually perceive mechanical energy in action. He can instinctively know and understand the potential and functional operations of any machine or device in his visual range. A skill that, combined with his natural intelligence, allows him to conceive, design, and build mechanical devices. He has been described as a technopath. So just whatever.
He's broken, is what you're telling me.
He is, but the thing, and this is why I like him, is that this is why he's interesting to me. None of what we've talked about, but this one line in that.
So sorry, you just did a full report.
Yeah,
like, nothing that I just said for the last 30 minutes is actually why I like this guy. Wait till you hear this bit.
So his technical acumen is not directly comparable to those exhibited by geniuses such as Reed Richards, Victor Von Doom, or Tony Stark, since none of these individuals have their skills from a genetic mutation. Non-mutant geniuses have to engage with a problem, make decisions, or work out theoretical principles, whereas for Forge, the majority of it is subconscious. He just knows how to do it. He knows, if I put this here and this here, this will work.
I suppose that's less interesting as a character as well, because you obviously want that thing where like, they've studied for this and they've they've had to make choices where he probably hasn't made that choices. But you could also do it the other way, and then he's like, he could be even more of a sociopath because he's like, subconsciously this is the best option. Like, I do this even if 10 people die, but I do this to save 1,000 people.
Yeah, but it's also like, it's really fun when he's in a room with like Tony Stark and Tony's doing all of this actual science and Forge is just like, no, I'm just going to do this and this is going to work. And it's interesting to see how people play off of that.
Yeah.
Because he's got like, he's pretty smart. He's got regular smart guy intelligence.
I think it's one of those though that he's a character that, other than all the terrible stories they clearly had him in the 80s, but like, you have a character who can literally make anything, and then he's also magic, so he technically can also literally do anything. Yeah. And so then where's the peril if he can just do both of those things?
Exactly, yeah. So a lot of his magic comes to, we need a portal every so often, or we need to astral project. And a lot of it is that it's written that he's out of practice, so he's not very good. But if he trained with like Scarlet Witch or someone into how to use magic, he would be probably the most broken character. Because then he could just magic anything or make anything to appear.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. Like, he just covers all its bases. So like, you're never going to defeat him. Like, if you turn up with a rocket launcher, he's going to have 2 rocket launchers and then also magic.
Yeah, and the thing is, he's generally not in the field that much because he's a regular man strong, but he can just make a weapon or a suit if he needs to be pulled into combat. Generally, he's a guy in a lab. Right,
yeah, because he would be... Because technically, he could just make a suit that's stronger than Tony Stark's immediately. Like, yeah. If Tony Stark wanted to kill him, he could make a suit that would beat Tony Stark.
100%, yeah. In the Krakoa stuff in X-Men recently, Forge upgraded Cerebro so that it would store mutant consciousness, so that if anyone died, they could grow them a new body and just put that consciousness in from the moment of their death.
That's what I'm talking about. He's broken.
Like, he's insanely broken, but he's really cool.
Like, an incredibly cool character that you can't ever use, because if he pops up, then the readers are just like, well, why doesn't he just solve it? What's the problem?
Yeah, why can't Forge invent a thing inventor to invent the thing?
But genuinely, like, if aliens, if we're going to talk aliens, if they came to Earth and they were like, we're going to drop 57 bombs all around Earth tomorrow at 3 o'clock, and you had Forge in the team, you'd be like, why don't you build a shield by 2:30 tomorrow that covers all of Earth and protects us from bombs?
Yeah, and I suppose the limit there is that, like, he's limited by, he can't build it super quick. Like, he would still need the infrastructure to build a shield around the Earth. He could do it, but he would need time, I guess.
Yeah, okay. Right, so it's not super quick is the only drawback.
Yeah, it's the only drawback of
It's the only he can still make it. It's just maybe it might take a few days.
Oh, he can make anything you want, Connor. It's his whole deal.
Christ. Fucking hell. He's completely OP.
Completely OP. Watch his, like, there's 2 episodes with him and Storm in X-Men 97, and it's real good.
Yeah.
And it basically, everything that happened there, it's just made really nice and succinct. And
well, it's
more
nice and simple, and it's just like I'm going to do slight spoilers, but she loses her powers through a machine that was given to the government, and then she finds out that he was the one who built the machine that took her powers.
Yeah, and they go on this whole Vision Quest thing, and it's real cool.
Yeah, exactly. Shaun, I think that was a great report.
Thanks, bud. I hope it was okay to listen to. Never
ever bring up the Diorite aliens again, please. Thank you very
much. That's fair, actually. I don't want to. Actually, no. Rom the Space Knight report. We got to do that.
I'm not allowed to ask questions. So, if you like this report, we have hundreds of other reports covering loads of other characters. Any Marvel DC characters that you like specifically, just have a search for them. They probably will pop up. And if they don't pop up, then message us or on the socials, and we will add them into the report list.
Very
because
good plan.
We want to cover all the good characters, and we're trying to get to them all. Some bad ones as well. So if you have a particular bad one that you'd like us to cover, please throw that in as well. If you could give this 5 stars, as we mentioned at the start, that would be really, really just amazing. And then a comment, a share, just let somebody else know that we exist. Maybe just one, Shaun.
Just the one, please.
Just the one human. But you know where all our socials are. They're down below. The Patreon is down below. If you want the invite, head on over there, subscribe, and you'll get an invite straight to the Google Meet next week. And most importantly, I already said that I want human beings that we exist, but just be nice to everyone.
Be nice, and be nice to yourself.
To yourself. So I've been Conor Lorraine.
I've been Shaun Main.
And we shall see you all next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.